All right, the recording has started, and this is the October 19th, 2021 Rook Community Meeting. So let's go ahead and catch up on upcoming milestones and releases. 1.6, we're not sure if we'll be doing another patch for that one, so there likely isn't much to talk about on the board here, but we will bring it up real quick.
Yeah, it should be empty.
Nothing to talk about there, it looks like. So if a high priority or urgent issue does come up that we need to backport, then we will make that happen. Otherwise, not much to talk about there.
Yeah, I took a look at the backports. There have been a couple of backports to the 1.6 branch in the last month, but they don't warrant a new release, I don't think, or nobody's asked for those upstream. It was more related to something downstream we were doing. So I'd say we don't need an upstream release unless it's requested at some point for 1.6.
Well, I would say that if there are comments and we haven't released for a few months, then we should probably get that release out anyways. So, I mean, at least we can, even though nobody's asking for them, we can just release it, right?
Right. And the release is simple these days. So, but maybe we wait another 2 or 3 weeks and see what else maybe we wait for. So, yeah.
At least it's a good sign that people are actually upgrading really often. As soon as the newer version is there, maybe they just wait for a few minor releases, but then they go ahead and upgrade. But I think it's a good sign. Because we don't typically really support 2 releases for too long at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah, 1.7 is where we're really focusing all of the fixes at this point.
Yeah, actually, let me correct that. We do support 2 releases, but we don't have to do it really often. that's more accurate, I guess.
Exactly. So yeah, 1.7, for example, the thought process is, well, yeah, let's backport most fixes, or really all fixes that aren't big or breaking to 1.7. But 1.6 is really only big breaking issues, or not breaking issues, big important critical issues, but not all the little bug fixes. Yeah.
Yep. Well, that sounds good. All right, cool. Then we can talk about then what's upcoming in a release tomorrow for 1.7, which is the latest supported release.
Yeah, typically we've been doing it on Thursday, but I'll be out Thursday and Friday this week, so thought, well, I'll just move it to Wednesday, if that works for people. And I didn't get a chance to look at the 1.7 board to see if things are updated there, but let's see at a glance. It seems like it's just things in progress, and it's just kind of the bi-weekly release with nothing real urgent, as I recall, for tomorrow, but we'll just get it out there.
Is it the right time for someone else to give it a shot at releasing too, maybe?
Yeah, I'd be happy to let somebody else do it. Since we've got all the GitHub actions in place, it's simpler, yeah, for sure.
I'm fine releasing tomorrow, but if at any point in time we have to release in your PTO, I guess we more or less know the process now, because it's more or less just pushing a tag anyways. So it doesn't really require much, but yeah, I think it would be good if we have to urgently remove something. At least we must be confident in how we do releases too.
Right. That would be someone, it'd be nice to honestly have someone closer to my time zone. It just feels like everything's happening in Europe, and then we're catching up on that in the US when we come online. and then after things finally calm down around here, then we do the release when it's a quieter afternoon. Well, that's been the pattern so far. Not that it needs to happen that way, but we should just get a few of us on a call and do a release together, so we can spread that knowledge. So yeah, let's try that tomorrow.
Yeah, cool.
Fun. All right. Yeah, take some of that fun away from Travis.
It's like my baby. You can't take it away from me.
But I haven't
Yeah.
tried the new. I know I told you about it, but now GitHub has does the releases. No, does the release notes for you.
Yeah, I like that new feature a lot. That's really,
Yeah.
really convenient.
Yeah, I think it's probably this is the only reason why I want to release, because I want to try it out.
I'll try that.
Well, I also
Yeah.
noticed that said that there wasn't anybody jumping on doing the releases when it was still on Jenkins. That's funny.
Yeah, I don't have a good answer to that.
So yeah, GitHub's really coming along with a lot of cool features. They're really investing and moving forward things. That's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's amazing
All
what
right.
they do.
Yeah. Anything else on 1.7, or let's move down to 1.8? Coming up on the distant horizon still, more than a month away.
Yeah. Yeah, no change there. We're kind of midway through the cycle here. We'll still plan on the first week of December. And the board is probably not updated either.
Yeah, let's take a quick look at that. Any updates or edits you want to make on the board here while we're here?
I'm not sure where they are on the board, but just to mention the big changes that would be coming in 1.8. So removing Ceph Nautilus support, that PR is about ready to merge potentially today, actually. And then bumping up our min version of Kubernetes to 1.16, and then removing the Flex driver support. Those are the big ones in my mind that people. And then there's a number of new features being added, as always.
Yeah, I think we're still rearranging the examples, right? The example manifests.
Oh, that's right. The
It's like
change to the directory structure. Yep, we were waiting to merge that a bit.
Yeah, I'll do a final rebase before releasing, I guess.
Maybe in a couple more weeks we'll get that one
Yeah.
merged. Mhm.
All
Yeah,
right.
and down in the community topics, we've got a few things that would be coming in 1.8 as well. So we could move down there.
Yeah, and speaking of community topics, Jan had added something in the chat, so I'm going to go ahead and just put it onto the agenda here. So it's, oh geez, that didn't
Don't
copy at all.
that, huh?
Let's try to copy again. There we go. Here, there we go. All right. So we can get to that topic today too. Okay, so Travis, you followed up on operator kits, archiving all that stuff and checking dependencies and everything.
It's all archived, and I haven't heard any concerns. Nobody complaining since then. I think we're all good there. Yeah. So basically, it means the repo is in read-only mode. People can still use it if they're still using it, and if we just aren't accepting any more PRs for it, which there haven't been any for like 2 years anyway.
Yeah, I expect that to be fairly low impact.
Yep.
Okay, sounds good. And then so Bump's got a couple of agenda items here. Do you want to go ahead and bring those up for us?
Hello.
Hey there,
Yep.
Spum.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So yeah, the Q plugin for Rook is published, and we can use the tool. We can use the plugin with the crew command. It is still in very basic. Like we can run very basic Ceph commands, and we have limited that to a Rook Ceph namespace only, and so yeah. But basically, it is released, and we can use the tool with crew. So I need more feedback on that, and yeah, I will be working on the issues that has been opened, like to to make the tool working for all the namespaces. So
One thing I was thinking about with the and great work on this too, by the way, Spam. One thing I was thinking about is that do we have enough insights into like the quick start, like the very typical super easy install with the manifests that we have published in the examples? Is that common enough for people just trying it out, maybe like as a sampled like getting started test workflow? Is that common enough to like add a command for that? So like kube control rook ceph install, and it basically just applies the example manifests. Is that common enough, or is that like you need more config than that to actually be successful?
So first we need to have a crew installed, and I see like there are more than 150 plugins. So I think they are being used, not as in like huge number, but I think they are being used.
Well, I think in my mind, this tool, we want it to be more of a troubleshooting tool and kind of assist you in things, but I'm not sure in my mind, we would use it as the configuration tool to update CRDs and things. I think it's more of running toolbox commands and make some commands simpler if we're working with Rook. But I don't know, maybe eventually it could be more of also simplify the quick start example sort of thing. It should be capable of that if we want it to be.
Yeah, that's totally reasonable if that's like the scope that we want to keep for it. That's not like a big deal. I was just kind of thinking of because you at the end of the day, you don't want it to result in a experience that's going to lead more people than not down a wrong path also, right? If there's like a lot of config values that people need to change or make specific for their environments and stuff like that. So you wouldn't want to end up with, if it does streamline things and make it like hey cool, like I just have to install the Rook plugin and then I just create a cluster with 2 commands, I'm done. That would be interesting. But it's also not like, it's not really a production sort of thing, and going down the path of setting yourself up for a real cluster either. So it's totally reasonable not to do that.
Right. Yeah, people have such varying topologies and cluster configurations. That's a hard one to really make it easy and automate, honestly.
All right, and then updates on SNCC here.
Oh, sorry, one more thought. And I'd say that's our goal more with the Helm charts. If we can make it easy with the Helm charts for install and configure, then this other tool is about troubleshooting and other things after Helm is done.
Yeah, that's totally reasonable.
Anyway, on to SNCC.
SNCC.
Yeah, by the way, Shubham, I added these to the agenda just as updates on things you're working on. So surprising you, putting you on the spot here.
So I added action for the sync license to replace with the FOSA. So I tested with my in my local forked repo, and it was working fine. Like I have attached the runner example. If you go down in the PR, yeah, the last comment, just little bit up. Yeah, the last comment I had. If you open that link, I have tested on my fork and it is running. And if you just click on the security tab, like just to have more details. So yeah, see like the tests are running and it is like green. So, but I don't know, I am facing some weird issues with Rook repo, and the issues coming from like related to some environment variable issues. So I will have to look on that.
Yeah, so we're almost there. It's just a matter of setting up the SNCC token correctly, it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's there. I mean, it's super strange, honestly. Yeah, maybe Jared, can you go back to the Rook repo, please? Go
To the
up.
PR or the repo itself?
Oh, no, yeah, the PR is fine. Go up, please. Then go on to settings. And secrets.
I won't expose anything, will it?
No. Then yeah, we have this snake token. I keep updating it, so, and it's a repository secret, so I think it should be good. Nothing.
Mhm.
I mean, let me know, Subham, if you did something different from for your own fork, or did you
I
just
ju-
do that?
I just copied the Rook changes in my fork and toast. I think you can open the changes here from here too.
Yeah, but I mean, in your own repo, you also you had to add
Add the
token.
yeah. I have added the token inside the secrets only, so I don't see
Yes,
why
it's the same
that is not.
direct. I
Yeah,
mean, same path,
Mhm.
everything. So,
yeah.
yeah,
Cool.
I
So
don't know.
if those token values are the same between the fork and upstream, then we expect it to be fine, right?
So I think the error in this case is that the action doesn't find the token. So it's like the environment variable is not there, which it should be because it's imported by
Mhm.
the workflow file. But yeah, anyways, I guess we'll keep looking.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that is kind of interesting. Okay, and then last one here for you, Sabam. Updated controller runtime.
So the changes are there. Like I have the PR, but one of the unit test is failing with UInt64, like deep copy added with UInt64, and I tried to change all the UInt64 we are using in our code to int64. Then also I'm getting the same test, like the same unit test is failing. So I don't know why. So, but again, I will have to look more deeper. And the error is not coming from our changes, like it is coming from API Masonry package, and I see some like more issues opened in the past, like 2-3 ago, and they has been closed. They have been closed. So I don't know why we are writing this now, but yeah, I will have to.
Did you capture the error once you have moved to using int64 instead of uint64?
It is basically the same, like panic cannot deep copy even system. It was same.
Oh, okay. Same error with different type.
Same line. Yeah.
Wait, it's a different type, or it still says uint64?
UInt64.
It's
Same,
still
exactly
finding something. Okay.
Oh, okay. So maybe not all the occurrence of uint64 were removed.
Yeah, I will try again tomorrow.
Okay. Thanks.
Awesome, yeah, a lot of updates there, Sabam. A lot of stuff that you're making progress on. Great work. Okay, and then Blaine, I see you typing right now, so I don't want to interrupt you. Do you have an update also on the Helm chart refactoring?
Oh, yeah, I mean, it is proceeding well, sort of slowly. It's not my highest priority item. Yeah, here I'm just trying to cut down on the amount of like duplicating the same stuff. And the eventual goal is to really stop duplicating the same stuff and use the Helm chart to generate all of the CRDs that we have in our example common.yaml manifest, so that we don't have any issues of like skew between like one installation method and another. And this is also going to help us in the future doing some I guess audits of the RBAC to make sure that we aren't giving the Rook RBAC more permissions than it needs.
That'll be all very nice improvements. A lot of internal changes, but to get more consistent installs. Thanks for working on that.
Very cool. Thank you, Blaine, for that update.
Yeah.
And since you've been typing in, providing a response there in the agenda doc, Blaine, do you want to go ahead and verbally kind of chat through what you've been typing?
Yeah, I haven't looked at StorageOS or OpenEBS in a while to do a comparison, but I have started looking at their documentation. It seems that StorageOS and OpenEBS are pretty comparable to each other. I did find, I forgot to mark the link. I found something on StorageOS that it can actually use an etcd installation to also serve as a like backing store that it can provide. But other than that, both of them like act in a different space than Rook entirely. Rook is, or I should say Rook with Ceph specifically, is focused on actually using Ceph to create storage that Kubernetes applications can consume, rather than using existing persistent volumes or potentially just raw disks that aren't replicated. Like Ceph is an enterprise, it's been used in enterprise for like a decade now, maybe not quite a decade. Has had lots of work go into it as far as data safety and replication, and Rook just runs Ceph in order to give like the Kubernetes cluster the option of having a way to have PVCs for storage that is actually replicated, storage like you would find in a cloud provider, but in a that is actually replicated and actually has performance characteristics that you can rely on, like you would have in a cloud provider, but you may not be in a cloud provider. Or alternately, not all cloud providers or cloud provider regions provide all of the storage you want. Some regions might not have object storage, for example. I know I've heard users complain about, and that's one of the reasons they use Rook. I guess I could have mentioned before, and I think Travis typed this out, Rook provides block, file, and object storage in one solution. So there is no need to have well, I have this for a file, I have this for a block, I have this other thing for object. It all comes from the same place, and you can pick and choose one or one, two, or all of them. And yeah, what Rook does not do, that what StorageOS and OpenEBS seem to do, is consume existing cloud provider PVCs and expose them in a sort of consistent way, given whatever their semantics are. I could imagine a scenario where someone wanted to have Rook and then use StorageOS, or I guess it's now ONDAT, or OpenEBS on top of it for some reason. Those solutions are a little bit geared toward multi-cloud use cases, I think, where you want a storage class that is the same on Amazon and Google.
I didn't follow what you're saying about what those do that Rook doesn't, because you can put OSDs on top of the cloud provider PVs, but I think that's different from what you're saying.
I guess that's true. It's a little more, I think it's a little more of a pass through, at least for ONDAT, which I had a little bit more time to look at. It seems like there's more ability to just pass through whatever a cloud provider provides, just with a given set of ONDAT semantics.
Okay, and instead of putting the Rook or the Ceph data layer on top of the volume. You're saying it can
Right.
just pass through a volume directly.
Yeah. Yeah. So Rook can consume cloud provider volumes, but it would not be a direct pass through. It actually would then go and make sure that whatever was on those volumes was actually replicated, and like it could tier them to use like fast storage for metadata access versus other types. So I hope that kind of helps to answer Jan's question.
There's actually a big one. Storage OS is closed source,
Mhm.
and
Oh.
OpenEBS and Rook are pure open source.
That's also a really good point. I think
Even OpenEBS engine is open source, like the way they do storage, the storage engine.
Yeah, so they have multiple storage engines.
Okay.
The common one that you'll see used is OpenZFS,
Okay.
and that's got snapshots and rating and
I see.
all that
Yeah.
data protection. Storage OS is more like running. The back end is more like iSCSI and RAID, traditional RAID.
I see. Okay.
and I actually worked with ZFS, but now have it's been long enough. ZFS I don't think allows for replication across nodes, right? It's only within a node.
They've implemented that as part of OpenEBS. So you can actually replicate, it's RAID, right? You can actually replicate across multiple systems for a block volume,
Okay, I see.
or a block PVC, right? And then file systems are on top of that. So in the background, they do have that. The more interesting one is they have a Maya store, which is an NVMe over Fabric backend. So rather than using iSCSI for the communication between nodes, they'll use NVMe over Fabrics, which is better in almost every way than iSCSI. But in Rook, obviously we don't have that block protocol on the backside, so it's kind of a different beast in that regard.
Yeah, we don't have any. I mean, maybe we don't need to, but we don't also deploy the iSCSI gateways from Ceph, which would allow you to consume block through the iSCSI protocol.
Right.
Yeah, right now the Ceph CSI driver just uses the kernel mount, the kernel RBD, which is obviously more native. But iSCSI has some prompts, I guess, for instance, Windows nodes.
Yeah, thanks for all that, all that insight, Richard. That's definitely useful to share here and have a kind of add to the knowledge base here. Anything else that folks want to add to this particular topic? So Yen asked another question in the chat that we copied in here about ARM and RISC-V builds. We do have ARM builds already, right? Specifically, that's supported correctly.
Yeah, we still have those.
Yeah.
So it's basically AMD 64 and ARM 64.
Is there anything special that needs to be done for RISC-V? I'm not super familiar with the requirements of that ARC.
Me neither. If Go builds on RISC-V, then maybe we just need to add this to the build. And I don't know. Also, we have to check whether the base image has support for risk
The
v5.
The set
well,
image. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really architecture. So if the set image as well as the CentOS image underneath do support this, then yeah.
I think risk 5 may be mostly focused on like microcontrollers. I yeah,
Yeah,
I
and I'm sure we don't have any Ceph packages for this.
Yeah.
I've never actually heard of us building packages for this architecture.
yeah, I think they're probably underpowered enough that it's not really worth trying to do so as well, because there's a lot of processing power that goes into in Ceph, making sure that the data is safe and secure and is moved around to the right places.
Thanks, Blaine, for adding those responses in the chat there, or in the agenda.
Yeah.
Cool. Any other questions that folks want to bring up or discuss here? Looks like we're out of the specific agenda items now. Okay. Great. If that's everything, that looks like we have an action item for folks that want to get involved in running the release tomorrow for what is it, the latest 1.7, I think. But yeah, so I think that's everything. So thanks everybody for joining in today. And thanks for the good questions and the responses as well too, Richard.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
sounds good.
Bye. Have a good
Have a
week.
good week.
Bye.